In the previous video, we took a look at Microsoft OneNote and why it has the potential to be such a powerful tool for you and your students. Now, if you have access to a Microsoft Office 365 for Education account, you can utilize a great tool, and that is the Class Notebooks add-on. If you're using the desktop application for a PC, you will need to actually download the Class Notebook add-on in order for it to work. In the Mac version, you do not need to do that, and you won't need to do it on the online version. Now, I'm currently on the OneNote Class Notebook homepage, which you can get to by navigating to onenote.com/class notebook. If you have the correct type of an account, then you will be able to access this page and begin creating these class notebooks. Now, here you'll see that I can create a class notebook, add or remove students and teachers, as well as manage them from this page. I want to quickly go to create one just to show you how they differ from other notebooks in OneNote, as well as some of the different features that are available. You'll also see how intuitive this program is and how easy it is to create one. I'll go ahead and click here. And the first thing it wants me to do is to give it a name. So I'll name this one Digital Literacy 101. I'll click Next. And the next thing it does is give a notebook overview. This is an important piece because there are automatically 3 sections that are incorporated into a class notebook. So when it's created, these will be there. The first is the collaboration space. In this space, both students and teachers can collaborate together. So the teachers will be able to edit the content and the students will be able to edit the content. The next section is the content library. Here is where the teacher can edit the content. They can curate resources as well as publish course materials that the students will then be able to see. In this section, the teachers can edit the content, but the students can only view it. Then down below, there are student notebooks. The student notebooks are an individual notebook for each student that they can keep notes in, complete assignments in, keep resources, and more. Now, the only person that will be able to see the student notebook is that particular student as well as the instructor. The instructor will be able to go in and see the progress that the student has made inside of their notebook. However, other classmates won't be able to see the individual student notebooks. I'll go ahead and click Next. And the next thing I can do is add in teachers. So if I have a co-teacher or someone else that I want to add in, I can do that. Next, I can start entering in student names. So if I had an email list here, perhaps one I created inside of Outlook, I could add that in and add my entire class. I could start typing out names and enter in students individually. In this case, I'm just going to click on Next though. And then you have to decide on which sections will be available in the student notebooks. So remember that I said that each student will have their own private notebook. Well, in there will be different sections. By default, that will be a handout section, class notes section, homework section, and quizzes section. If I don't want one of these, I can just uncheck it, and now there won't be a quizzes section. And if I want to add one, I can simply click here on Add More, and then add a section. Let's say I wanted one for labs. I could go ahead and do that. I'll click Next. It gives me a preview of what this will look like for the teacher, as well as for the student. And then I can go ahead and click on Create, and it will create that notebook. Now, the next thing I want to do is navigate to my OneNote account online. This is the version I like to use the most because it saves in the cloud and it's really easy to access. So in the upper left-hand corner, I'll click here, and these are my Office 365 apps. I'm going to go down to OneNote. And when I do this, it brings up all of my notebooks. I can see recent ones that I've opened. I can see my notebooks, which I've created, ones that were shared with me, as well as class notebooks. If I click here, you can see the different class notebooks that were created in this account. Let's take a look at one to see the structure. So right here, under Physical Science, if I click on this one, it will open that up. And here, and remember this is a teacher account, I first of all can see this collaboration space. That's the section where both teachers and students will be able to make edits. Below that, I have my content library, where I, the instructor, can curate content and add resources, which students will only be able to view. Below this, I have a ton of different names, and that's because these are all the students that are enrolled in this class. Right here, I can see Adele, Al, Alex, Alfonso. I can go in and access their accounts, or their notebooks because I am the instructor. Remember though that they're the only ones who will be able to see their notebook besides the instructor. Inside of here, we have their class notes, handouts, homework, quizzes, and Volcano are the sections that happen to be set up for this notebook. So if I click here, you'll be able to see those sections for any student that I want to see it for. Now, one other thing that I want to mention here is that when you create pages inside of here, it's really easy to share them with all of your students. So there's not a time where you have to go in and individually enter them into each of these notebooks. You can simply, and I'll go up here to my content library. I'll go down to, let's say, homework handouts. And in here, I'm just going to add a page. So I'll add in here, sample page. When I'm done with it, I can go up to the top and click on the class notebook tab. When I do that, over on the left, there is a distribute page and distribute section. If I just want to distribute this page, I click there. I'll notice on the right, it's populating. And it's going to ask where I want to place this. So in other words, if I created a resource or an assignment that I want to share and put a copy of it in each one of the students' notebooks, I can go ahead and do that. It's just asking me where I want to put it. In this case, let's say that I wanted to put it in homework. I can click on homework and then distribute that to all of those students. It will put an individual copy then in each one of the student notebooks, which is extremely convenient. One other thing is that if I click on the class notebook tab up here, at any time I can manage my notebooks. If I click on manage, I can decide on several things for each of my notebooks. You'll see here different class notebooks. Let's say for physical science, I can decide if this is the different sections that I would like there to be. I can go over here and decide if I want to enable a teacher-only section group for the teachers to be able to discuss stuff. I can also lock the collaboration space. So whereas I said that the collaboration space is an area where both students and the instructor will be able to make edits, you can go in here and lock it if for some reason your students are abusing it or you just don't want them making edits inside of there. We also have collaboration space permissions, parent and guardian links, as well as down here at the bottom, a link for that specific notebook. So I can share that link out and then students can easily access it. So that was a really quick introduction to class notebooks, but I suggest that you dive in and try them out. They're very intuitive to use, and if you want to learn more about them, you can navigate to Microsoft support pages, which has a ton more information on them. So use the class notebook feature to help improve organization, communication, collaboration, and most importantly, student learning.